Who's your go-to? I'm Dr. Dawn Holtz, a performance psychologist, and I ask you guys, if you've ever watched me before, a lot about talking to other people. Make sure that you're talking to somebody, especially if you're in these high performance fields, EMS, police, fire, dispatch, military, any of those. High stress, high impact, and you need to perform on the regular. So I always tell you, you got to talk to somebody. Who's your go-to? Who do you go talk to about different things? A lot of you will say, oh, well, maybe it's my wife, my husband, my friend. Most of you, it'll be a friend, somebody that you're a colleague that you work with, especially if you're talking about things at work. In these high impact fields, we often don't talk to somebody outside the field because we don't think that they'll understand. And a lot of times, let's face it, they don't. They don't work with people dying every day. They don't work with the darkest and the deepest of every day on the regular. So we talk to somebody that will understand. And that's good. You want somebody that'll understand what you're talking about. Don't want to have to re-explain. You don't want to have to set the scene every single time. It's nice to have somebody that's your go-to. So that's what you have, a go-to. But I want to talk a little bit more about that and how beneficial it is or isn't. Why would I say or isn't if I'm the person that's always telling you, talk to someone? Well, the truth of the matter is, I want you to stop and think about not only who you talk to, but why do you choose that person? This conversation is going to have a little bit to do with not just things that we see in the field, but in our regular relationships as well. It applies to everything. When we have something that we want to talk about, something that's heavy on our heart, something that has made us angry, or really concerned us, we'll often go to people, again, that we work with in this field so that they will understand. The part of it is, hey, these people are also our friends. They're our family. We work with them, we eat with them, we sleep with them day in and day out. We spend more time with these people sometimes than we do with our physical family. So what's the problem with that? Well, you don't have an unbiased third party. Well, who cares? I mean, this person understands, I'm getting it out, we're doing that whole verbal diarrhea thing, and we're good, right? Because we're done. The problem is you've got this bias that's reinforced. You're talking to people that do the same thing that you do. Statistically speaking, most of you guys out there that are watching this right now don't see somebody that's a therapist, a coach, a counselor, or maybe you go to church, but you don't talk with your pastor, priest, whatever you subscribe to there. So that person that you're talking to is doing what you're doing every day. And remember, we know that there is a bias in the field against getting mental health help, right? So you're talking to somebody and they're hearing what you're saying, and yeah, you tell them that was an awful call. This person I wanted to beat the crap out of the dad. And it's great that you are able to get that off your chest and move forward a little bit. But are you being asked challenging questions like, is there something that you could have done differently? What went well on that call? Now that we're super focused on what went poorly or what we didn't like about it, what was good about it? What positive came out of it? We're not talking to somebody that's necessarily going to help us reframe. We're just talking to somebody that's going to reinforce that bias. So if you went into this discussion talking and thinking negatively, odds are you might feel a little bit better because you got it off your chest, but you've got somebody telling you you're right. This person was terrible. This person didn't do their job. This call was awful and should have been avoided because society sucks. You're just having all of those biases reinforced instead of reframing and putting yourself in a better headspace, which is actually going to help decrease the stress, reframe, and put you in a better place for focusing and moving forward and helping you to learn something from that call to apply to the next one. Not just from the call, but like I said when I started, to your family or to your friends or to these other environments. This happens just as much at home. When you and your spouse, significant other, whatever the case may be, get into it, who do you talk to? Do you always, you having the argument with your spouse, you talk to your friends, right? You don't go to his or her friends, you go to your friends. And what do your friends do? Oh yeah, that's awful. No, you shouldn't have to cook and clean after you get home from work. It's a long shift. These things should be done for you, or you should have this downtime, or whatever the case may be. They're going to reinforce, because that's your friend and they're they see it your way, your bias. You're not going to get that perspective from the other side. And maybe you cool down, that's great, and then you're able to re-engage with your significant other and have a more positive conversation. But the bottom line is, when you talk to these people that are just your friends, good to have them, but not a third party that's not involved, you're not going to get that feedback loop that's going to help you reframe, be more positive, and come out of this event with something learned, a new perspective, less stress. So I just ask you guys, I'm going to tell you, it's great to talk to someone. I'm glad you're talking to someone. That's what I want you to do. But it's definitely better if you can have a third party that's not involved. And that doesn't have to be the person you talk to every time, all the time, but set up something where you're doing a weekly checkup, a monthly checkup, quarterly check-in, somebody that you can go to when you have these stresses and these struggles. As I always tell you, I'm not the right person for everybody, so it might not be me. Who are you comfortable with, though? There are other coaches out there. See a counselor, see a therapist. There's nothing wrong with that. And the best time to do it is when you're doing well, so that you're comfortable with it and you're comfortable with that person when you get to a point where you're struggling. See your pastor, see your priest, see your religious counsel of some sort. But see somebody, talk to somebody that's a third party. Keep those friends, keep supporting each other out there, but make sure you've got a third party that's not biased. Take care of yourself and take care of each other.